Salutations on the Knights of the P.O.V.G table. My name is Sir Anthelot, and sorry, let's pray about. Today, welcome back to Point of Video Games, where I decide whether a game deserves to go rise to the heavens or plummet to the depths of hell. Now, today, sorry, I just got out of the shower. Today is not about a certain game, or rather, well, let me rephrase that. From this episode onward, P.O.V.G. episode 5, onwards to, I don't even know how friggin' many they're gonna be, but they're gonna be, if you guys saw my last video, which I highly doubt some of you guys did, because I only got 1 view so far. As one of you guys know, I got a divine intervention, or a merciful act of God, because last Friday I got the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. So happy to have it in my collection. Well, and for those who don't know what a Super Nintendo what the Classic Edition is for Nintendo, it's basically, so far there's 2 of them, but it's basically a plug-and-play console. Much like the Atari Flashback series, or the Sega Genesis plug-and-play. Except those don't suck. Except this one doesn't suck. No offense to the Sega or Atari. Anyway, now, before we start working on the games, I want to review a few things that are kind of shortcomings for the console. First off, let's just explain the games. Here on the back are the games that are programmed with it. As you can tell, you can pause the video this time, I can wait. But basically, this console has a fine amount of RPGs. Get that in frame here. As you can see, we have Final Fantasy 3, well, technically 6, because, you know, China, whatever. We have Super Mario RPG. We have, where's that other one? Secret of Mana, right there. And I can't believe this is actually on the console. Earthbound. And for those who aren't aware, Earthbound is like a really rare Super Nintendo game. Like, we're averaging about, if you want a new copy of it with the Scratch and Sniff stickers, really, Tyler? Guess they're not you when you're hungry. You basically have to pay a bunch of money. Like, I tried getting just the cartridge at my local retro game store. It was over $150 just for the cartridge. It's that rare. But even though it has a high emphasis of role-playing games, there's one complaint I have about the games. Where's Chrono Trigger? I mean, seriously, that game is like, just the cartridge itself at the same game store was $270. I mean, seriously, why the frick didn't they include Chrono Trigger? I mean, seriously, I'm kind of upset about that, if you can't tell. I mean, Chrono Trigger is one of the best JRPGs of all time. For those who don't know, JRPG stands for Japanese role-playing game. But yeah, I'm a little upset about that. Another thing that's kind of a shortcoming, well, let me show you the control. Alright, now, here we have, for those who don't know, I actually own an actual Super Nintendo, but I only have 1 game for it, so that's why I bought this. Now, I'm glad, but a good thing about the Super Nintendo Classic, it comes with 2 controllers. So, and that's a good thing, and that's a good step up compared to the NES Classic, because the NES Classic came with only 1 controller. I mean, why only 1? Seriously. And for those who own an NES Classic, you already know what the next complaint is. these cords are tiny. Like, these USB cords are freaking short as frick. I mean, even the NES Classic has shorter, the NES I've heard it even has shorter cords. Like, ranking up to 2.5 feet. As you can tell, that's the USB part. It doesn't even reach, like, the cord doesn't even reach the head of my bed. Like, it's all, the controller's there, and the cord is barely touching almost touching my pillow, but it doesn't reach. As for the Super Nintendo controller, let's do a size comparison here. There, move this one. As you can tell from this one, it's at the foot of my bed. That's the original Super Nintendo controller. Look how long this thing is. Like, it surpasses my bed. As you can tell. Probably. I don't have a selfie phone. Like, it has a little extra. So, that's a bit of a complaint. Why are the controls so short? And like, literally, even the smallest TVs recommend have a 5-foot cord away from your game console. But 4 feet? Like, seriously. Why? That is the question. Why? Hang on. I'm gonna edit that out. Or at least try to. That was supposed to be a Y, not a V. Anyway. Now there is a plus side to the Super Nintendo Classic. I heard the controllers are backwards compatible to the NES Classic. They use the same USB kind of thing. I don't know what it's called. The only buttons that are useless are the only buttons you can use are the D-pad, select, start, A and B. However, X is compatible is the same button as A, and Y is the same button as B. I think I got that right. I don't know, I didn't do research. The only buttons that are really useless are L and R. Oh well. Now, let's go on. Now that I've made the major complaints, Chrono Trigger not included, the cords, and the pros and... Well, basically, now that I've discussed the pros and cons of the Super Nintendo Classic, let's look at how the menu works. And alright, so here's the menu. As you can tell, I played a little bit of the games. And just listen to that menu music. It's upbeat and catchy. Now, here we have all the games. From Contra 3 The Alien Wars in alphabetical order to Yoshi's Island. Now, let me turn down the music real quick. Because I've heard that there's a certain display you can use. There's the 4x3, there's 4x3, which is like, can you guys even see that? The middle one says 4x3, there's Pixel Perfect, which is like today's standards, but then there's the CRT filter. That might be pretty cool, because for those who don't know, a CRT was the TV that you would use back in the Super Nintendo era. By the way, the Super Nintendo's right there. I actually own one, along with the Switch. So yeah, I think for in terms of frame rate, in terms of like everything, you can also choose frames apparently, which is pretty cool actually. Oh, you can even have like a city skyline or a, oh, it's like the, oh, what's it called? It's like for the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo, where you can have your own frame. That's pretty cool, actually. I want to choose one. Let's go down. Oh, that looks cool. Or a city skyline, or some curtains, or galaxy. A wooden frame with a Super Famicom logo. Polka dots, pixels. You guys can't even see it. Frick! Okay. So that's the back. Now, there's also language and legal notices, but there's also manuals. Oh. View the original game manuals and other information on your smart device. Oh, you need a QR scanner? Seriously? Frag. Oh, wait, what's this? When you reset a game, you can create a suspend point. Oh. So that's what reset does? Oh, I get it. So to reset, it brings you back to the main menu, and then you can do a save point. Okay, okay. What does sort mean? By 2-player games, by recently played, by times played, by release date, by publisher, by type. Pretty cool, standard stuff. So basically, here are all the games. If you follow the highlighted part, there's Contra 3, Donkey Kong, Earthbound, F-Zero, Final Fantasy 6, Kirby Superstar, Kirby's Dream Force, Mega Man X, Zero Mana, Star Fox. But the highlight has to be that. Never released, ever, Star Fox 2. But in order to play a game, you have to clear Stage 1 of Star Fox to unlock. So it's locked until you play Star Fox. But yeah, there's also Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Hyper Fighting, Super Castlevania 4, which is pretty sick, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which is pretty hard, Super Mario Kart, Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven Stars, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Punch Out, Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, Yoshi's Island, and that's it. Pretty much there's only 20 games, which is kind of disappointing because the NES Classic has like 30 games on it, I think. I don't really know, honestly. This is about 20. Oh yeah, so yeah, that's the Super Nintendo. That's how the games work. So that's basically how the menu and how the console looks. By the way, in case you're wondering where it is, Super Nintendo Classic is right here, next to the original, my Switch, and my Xbox One. Yes, I have an Xbox One. I play that one the most. Sue me. Oh gosh, I realized it was like that. Sorry. All right. Now that we talked about the games, or the console and how the menus work, I have to say, the Super Nintendo, on how it looks and how, yeah, I would review how every game plays, but that would take forever. That's gonna take forever. So that's why I said at the beginning of the video why I'm gonna play basically gonna play every single game one at a time. For the next several videos of P.O.V.G. But based on how the console looks, and how internally and externally, I have to say, Super Nintendo Classic Edition rises to the heavens. Alright, so tune in next time for with P.O.V.G. So, when I play the first game on the Super Nintendo Classic, Contra 3, The Alien Wars. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like you're dropping the bass. Wow, wow. Give the old subscribe button, the old smizzity smack. Ooh, that was loud. Scared me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Tudes.